Fine then. In the previous video, we have come across dot product and the exercise. So I hope you all have completed the exercise problems. If at all any problem was pending, please let me know. We'll solve the problems, or maybe once we complete this chapter, then we'll solve the problem. Okay? Whichever is comfortable, we'll do it that way. But anyway, I will move on with the next topic, or the last topic of this chapter, that is vector cross product. Fine? So in this, we'll be learning about we'll be learning about the practical idea, that is geometrical idea, what the cross product means. Then we'll go through the observations and few formulas which will be needed to solving the problems. Okay, so stepwise we'll go. So first thing I need to learn about vector or cross product is that vector product, as when I tell it is a vector product, that means the answer is in the form of vector. Okay, so whatever answer I obtain is in the form of a vector. That is what it directly means. Cross product, because here what is happening is one vector is falling on another vector to give out another vector. Okay, in previously dot product, one vector was made to fall on another vector and we would get a scalar quantity. That is dot product. Now one vector is made to fall on another vector to give out a vector quantity. That is why it is called as a cross product or vector product. Clear? So clearly recall scalar product and then come to vector product, because these both have little similarity in between them and high chances of you getting confused. Okay, do not get confused at all, because these two are two different concepts with the similarity in between. Okay, so and also in questions you should be very careful what they are asking. Whether they are asking dot product or cross product. So based on that, you need to find out your answers. Okay, so now let's begin the geometrical idea of this one, the practical idea. So let us assume the three coordinate system, that is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis outside the board. So three coordinate system, something like this: x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Clear? So now x-axis, this all three are mutually perpendicular to each other, that we already know. Now to give out a practical idea, I will imagine that there is a screw in the z-axis, that is towards the board. Okay, a screw, it is there on the z-axis. Something we will do it with this. Okay, so imagine there is a screw like this towards the z-axis. Z-axis is outside the board and screw is here. Okay, this screw, if I rotate it anti-clockwise, I will put a screwdriver and rotate it anti-clockwise. That is, this x is made to fall on y. Correct? No? This x will be made to fall on y. X-axis is made to fall on y-axis. That is how my rotation will take place here. That is this one is rotated in this direction, like this. Is it clear? Screw is rotated in anti-clockwise direction. So screw, when it is rotated in anti-clockwise direction, you know it comes this side, outside the board, isn't it? If I turn it to the clockwise direction, if I rotate it inwards, it will go into the board, that is into the wall. But if I rotate it anti-clockwise, it will come outside the wall. So which means it is coming towards the positive z-axis. This is the positive z-axis, isn't it? Yes, this is the positive z-axis and this is my negative z-axis. This is the coordinate system what we need to know. In case you all have confusion in this is positive x, y plus x plus y. This is minus x minus y. This is already you have learned. Now extra thing you need to know is here z, this is negative z, that is inside the board it is negative and outside the board it is positive z. Okay, so remember this is how this point looks like. Okay, so understand that point clearly, and then which means when I am rotating it anti-clockwise direction, this is positive. When I am rotating it clockwise direction, it goes in the negative direction of z-axis. That's why it is negative. Okay, this is what the practical idea of cross product means. That is, I'll take a vector A and a vector B. Okay, any two vectors, it is perpendicular. It may be perpendicular or they are making an angle of theta with respect to each other. Something like this. Okay, imagine this is here and these two are like this. A and B. A and B are on the bottom of this floor, like this. Imagine here, and these two are like that, like this. Here. So this A and B, when A is made to fall on B, that will be, imagine this, the screw is here, the screw is here like this. When A is made to fall on B, the rotation is taking place in this direction, isn't it? Like this. When you do it like this, imagine what the screw is happening, going in the excuse me, sorry. When I rotate it in this way, the screw will go in the upward direction. The upward direction is positive direction, correct? So when A is made to fall on B with an angle of theta, I will get a vector which is perpendicular to both the things, and this is in the positive direction. Here, when B is made to fall on A, I will get a negative vector n cap, which is perpendicular to these two vectors. So you should remember, whenever cross product of two vectors is found, it is a vector quantity which is perpendicular to those two vectors. Understood? So clearly understand this. Here I will tell you, if this is A vector, this is B vector, these two are on some plane. Okay? If A is made to fall on B, this will have another vector that is perpendicular to these both vectors. Okay? If A cross B, I need to find out. These two will have its product. Cross product is perpendicular to these two vectors. This is perpendicular to these two vectors. It is not necessary that these two vectors are perpendicular. Okay, these two vectors are making an angle of theta with respect to them. So this product will give me a perpendicular vector. And if this is made to fall on this one, this will be perpendicular but in below direction. This is my dot product, sorry, cross product. Okay, so understand that this was the practical idea for y'all. Now the theoretical formula. You have studied about the dot product. That was A dot B is A vector, magnitude of A, magnitude of B cos theta, and that was it. Stop. And now here in the cross product, A cross B is equal to magnitude of A, magnitude of B sin theta. Instead of cos, it is going to be sin theta, and you need to multiply a unit vector to that. Unit vector n cap, because that is the unit vector which is perpendicular to the given two vectors. Correct? And I already told you all, the cross product is nothing but a vector quantity. Therefore, by multiplying it with a vector, this becomes a vector quantity. Otherwise, if I don't write this n cap, this is just a scalar quantity again, only with the difference of sin theta. But it will be always multiplied with the n cap. So always remember it this way, that A cross B is magnitude of A, magnitude of B sin theta into n cap. N is a vector which is perpendicular to both the vectors. Clear? So understand that clearly. And one small observation before going to the other main observations. If at all A vector is a zero vector or B vector is a zero vector, then theta is not defined between them, isn't it? You cannot form an angle between the two zero vectors. So it is just a point. So if theta is not defined, A cross B will be 0. Why? Because sin theta cannot be defined, or it is 0, isn't it? If theta is not defined, sin theta is 0. Yeah? So which means A cross B is equal to a 0 vector. It is not n cap again, it is a 0 vector totally. Yeah? So that is what you need to understand. Suppose if theta is not, that is, theta will not be defined, will not be able to define theta at all when any two vectors are 0. If the any one of the vector is a 0 vector, then the theta itself is not defined. A cross B will be a 0 vector. So this one is the first observation which you need to come across. Then magnitude of this vector, cross product of two vectors we learned. Then the magnitude of this vector cross product, I'll write it A cross B, A vector cross B vector cross magnitude is simply nothing but magnitude of A, magnitude of B sin theta without the n cap. Is it clear? So if I write n cap, it becomes a vector cross product. If I want the magnitude of that, I need not write the n cap. Only simply have to write is A magnitude, B magnitude sin theta. Clear? So this is the magnitude of A cross B vector quantity. So then with the same note, I will add up another note. Sin theta, in order to find out sin theta, A cross B, I'll keep it as it is. These two quantities, magnitude of A, magnitude of B, I'll get it to the denominator. This is the formula to find out my angle between two vectors. Clear? And that is sin inverse, I can write it at the end. As we have learnt in the dot product already, theta is cos inverse of A dot B divided by magnitude of A, magnitude of B. Correct? And similarly, theta is equal to sin inverse of A cross B magnitude. Don't forget, magnitude is there. Otherwise, A cross B is a vector quantity. So this will be a magnitude present on that. So divided by magnitude of A, magnitude of B. Sin inverse of that. So you need to find out the angle of this one. Okay? Which one? N vector? N cap. In this, I told you, no. So magnitude of A cross B is nothing but magnitude of A, magnitude of B sin theta. There is no N vector in this, N cap in this. Because magnitude of this I am asking you. Understood? So this itself I am writing here. And divide by magnitude of A, divide by magnitude of B. There is no N vector in this one. Because magnitude is what I am talking about. Whenever I talk about magnitude, it is a scalar quantity. Therefore, N cap will not come in the picture. It will not be a vector quantity. Clear? So that's why I wrote this note first and then come to this. Clear? Fine. So next we'll move on to the few more observations which will be helpful for solving the problems. First of all, as I've told you from the beginning, A cross B is a vector quantity. Clear? A cross B will be a vector quantity. That's why it is called as a vector product. Okay? And don't read it as A into B, okay? Don't make a mistake of reading it as A into B. It is always read as A cross B, never as A into B. Okay? Then, if A vector and B vector are two non-zero vectors, then A cross B will be a zero vector. Only if and only if AI vector and B vector are parallel or collinear. It's the same concept, same observation which we came across in dot product. Now I'll tell in this one, if A vector and B vector are non-zero vectors, if they are zero vectors, if they are zero, any one of them is zero, then obviously A cross B is zero vector. Clear? So this is one chance of, one possibility of getting a zero vector. What is another possibility of getting a zero vector for a cross product is, either the two vectors should be zero, either of the two vectors should be zero, that is this condition, or either the two vectors are parallel or the two vectors are collinear, or the angle between them is pi. Parallel means angle between them is theta. Collinear or opposite to each other means angle between them is 180 or pi, which means sin theta will be 0. If sin theta is 0, A cross B is also 0. Why? Because sin theta is 0, this full thing will become 0. Clear? So rewind this video once again, start it watching again, so that time you will understand what I am trying to tell here. So what are the possibility of getting the cross product as 0? There are three possibilities. First one is, either the two vectors are 0, either of the two vectors are 0 vectors, or either the two vectors, these two vectors are parallel to each other, which means angle between them is 0, or these two vectors are collinear vectors, that is angle between them is 180 or pi. So which will give me an answer as A cross B is equal to 0 vector. Okay. So don't forget the three conditions for obtaining a 0 vector when it is cross product. Oh. Then the second one observation is over. Third one. If at all theta is 90 or pi by 2. That is, if the two vectors are perpendicular to each other. If the two vectors are perpendicular to each other, A cross B will be simply magnitude of A, magnitude of B, and n cap. Let's not forget that, because it is a vector quantity. Sin theta will become 1. That's it. Sin 90 is 1. Clear? Just substituting in this formula. If at all theta is pi by 2 or 90, this will become 1. Then remaining is magnitude of B, magnitude of A, n cap. That's what it means. Clear? So that is what it means if the two vectors are perpendicular to each other.